Thank you. Thank you, Tanya. Oh, beautiful. You look great. Thank you, darling. Also, we have many Azerbaijans in our room. We have some incredible people in our room. We have so many that we just can't. But we have some people. We have some people in our room that I'm not going to mention because they fully understand why.
That was Donald Trump at a rally in Arizona, which would mean he's speaking to a room of Arizonans, but because he has the reading comprehension level of a very small child, he decided that in fact he was speaking to a room of Azerbaijans.
Azerbaijans.
Who I believe hail from the land of Azerasia. Not exactly sure how many electoral votes Azerbaijans have, but clearly there are enough that he's showing up to garner support in the home stretch of his campaign. Want to know what makes this even more perfect? Here's Trump only days ago bragging about how he doesn't need a teleprompter.
You don't use teleprompters. We don't use teleprompters, period, pretty much. And it is nice to have people that don't need teleprompters, isn't it? Isn't it nice to have a president that doesn't need a teleprompter? Isn't that nice? Thank God I don't use teleprompters too much.
Yeah, thank God Donald Trump doesn't use a teleprompter, because if he did, I'm sure you could just imagine the stupidity that might come out of his mouth.
Azerbaijans.
Yeah, phew. Although, I gotta say, calling Arizonans Azerbaijans is the least of his issues lately. Let's not forget what he called Sioux City, Iowa.
A very big hello to a place where we've done very well, Sioux Falls. Thank you very much, Sioux Falls. And thank you. So, Sioux City, let me ask you.
And of course, here's Donald Trump just last week shitting on Detroit in Detroit.
The whole country is going to be like, you want to know the truth? It'll be like Detroit. Our whole country will end up being like Detroit if she's your president.
Which of course resulted in this ad by the Harris campaign.
They said we were dead.
Detroit waving the white flag, the city filing for bankruptcy.
That our best days were behind us. That living here is like
living in hell.
But you know what we said? We said, F that. We rebuilt ourselves. We looked out for each other, got our hands dirty, and put in the hard work. And this guy, he don't know anything about that. We are a city of winners, of up-and-comers, of builders, the Motor City. Bigger and better. Here, we believe in freedom. We don't bow down to nobody, and we never will. And so what Donald Trump doesn't understand, or care to learn, is that when he said,
our whole country will end up being like Detroit if she's your president,
that he should be so goddamn lucky.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
And even that doesn't hold a candle to Donald Trump telling Californians that he'll withhold disaster funding to California.
And we'll force it down his throat. And we'll say, Gavin, if you don't do it, we're not giving you any of that fire money that we send you all the time for all the forest fires that you have. It's not hard to do.
All of which is to say, maybe a little less time bragging about how great you are without a teleprompter and how people love you, and just a tad bit more time remembering where you are and, just for good measure, what the people there are called. Just, you know, for starters. And of course, if you are looking for projection, this is it. Perhaps the reason that so much of Trump's campaign is spent calling other people mentally deficient or cognitively declining is because he's desperately trying to cover for the fact that the only deficient person in this race is him. I mean, look at what he just posted today on Truth Social. I believe it is very important that Kamala Harris pass a test on cognitive stamina and agility. Her actions have led many to believe that there could be something very wrong with her. Even 60 Minutes and CBS, in order to protect Lion Kamala, illegally and unscrupulously replaced an answer she had given, which was totally bonkers, with another answer that had nothing to do with the question asked. Also, she is slow and lethargic in answering even the easiest of questions. We just went through almost 4 years of that. We shouldn't have to do it again. In other words, this is Trump claiming that Kamala Harris needs a cognitive test on the same day that he called Arizonans Azerbaijans.
Azerbaijans.
If you are looking for projection, it doesn't get more obvious than this. In fact, over 250 doctors and healthcare providers have called on Trump to release his medical records for exactly that reason. Quote, as nurses, doctors, and healthcare providers, we rely on data and facts, and here's what we know to be true. Vice President Kamala Harris has released a credible, transparent update on her health and medical history, and Donald Trump has not. On August 20th, Donald Trump said he would very gladly release his medical records. In the 55 days since, he has yet to do so. With no recent disclosure on health information from Donald Trump, we are left to extrapolate from public appearances. And on that front, Trump is falling concerningly short of any standard of fitness for office and displaying alarming characteristics of declining acuity. Donald Trump is nearly 80 years old. While many older adults are highly functional, age can also come with cognitive changes that affect our ability to function well in complex settings. We are seeing that from Trump as he uses his rallies and appearances to ramble, meander, and cruelly lash out at his many perceived grievances. He is also notably refusing to give the public the ability to properly vet or scrutinize his capacities. Just last week, he backed out of an interview with 60 Minutes, and he's refusing to debate Vice President Harris again, both venues where the country might be able to more adequately assess his demeanor and fitness. As we saw in his first presidential debate, Trump is displaying irrationality and irritability. Notably, he ranted about migrants eating people's cats and dogs. This was widely debunked as untrue. In the limited opportunities we can examine his behavior, he's providing a deeply concerning snapshot. Given his advanced age, if elected again, he would be the oldest president in history by the end of his term. His refusal to disclose even basic health information is a disservice to the American people. The American people deserve to have confidence in their elected officials' mental and physical capacity to do the job they've elected them to do. Trump ought to be going above and beyond to provide transparency on his physical health and mental acuity, given his advancing age. In 2008, this is exactly what Senator John McCain did. Trump should have been living up to that model. The stakes of this election are historically high. Vice President Harris and her campaign have provided the transparency that we should expect from our leaders and confirmed her well-being and fitness to serve. Voters deserve to know that Trump is up to the job. That's why we are asking Donald Trump to release his medical records just as Harris has done. In fact, here's a little compilation that the Lincoln Project put together.
We have a man who is totally corrupt and the worst president in the history of our country, who is cognitively impaired. We are an institute in a powerful death penalty, trying to debank you. We came up with a new couple of words for corn. Your climb, they call it climate. Ding, 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 ding.
He's been showing more and more confusion in his stump speeches.
Windmills are causing whales to die in numbers never seen before. At least step in it. You're a foreign dignity and you're coming into the United States. We would be in World War II. Missile launch, pshing, boom.
You're seeing Donald Trump increasingly get confused on the campaign trail.
We won world wars out of forts. Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people, soldiers.
He thought Nikki Haley was Nancy Pelosi. That clip is brutal.
Nikki Haley.
Donald Trump is truly confused about who Nikki Haley is.
Boom. Okay. Totally incoherent. They want to debank you, and we're going to debank Viktor Orban. Did anyone ever hear of him? He's the leader of Turkey, Hezbollah, and Hamas. Sioux Falls. Sioux City. With Obama, we won an election that everyone said couldn't be won. Obama dropped missiles, and they ended up hitting a kindergarten. If that's the case, he's going to end up being indicted when he leaves office. Leading by a lot, including Obama. I'll tell you what.
If he's making the same kind of slips and mistakes that he is mocking Biden for, it undermines his argument and really what is a central Republican meme heading into 24.
I'll let you know when I go bad. I really think I'll be able to tell you.
When that guy tries to attack other people for their mental state, perhaps he should consider not throwing stones, because not for nothing, even the most loyal Azerasians might start to recognize that perhaps Donald Trump isn't fit for office after all. Before you go, just a quick note, if you'd like to see more of my content, which is always free of advertising, sponsorships, and paywalls, please make sure to subscribe to this channel using the subscribe button right here on the screen. And if you'd like to support my work even further, you can grab a copy of my instant #1 New York Times selling book, Shameless, available for sale right now. That link is also on the screen. Thanks so much for watching.